Hello, everyone. Let's go ahead and take our estimate that we have now closed the deal on, and let's create a sales agreement so that we can sign the sales agreement in the home and get that wrapped up. So the first thing we'll need to do, there's a few areas of the estimate we'll need to edit. First of which will be the final cost. So let's say customer loved the Smart Choice, and since they did, we offered but they didn't want to purchase today for whatever reason. They weren't quite ready, but we mentioned, we explained the upgrade offer. If they did find something they love, and that something is the Smart Choice, we can give them that package for the price of the Performance if they want to move forward during our first visit. So the new price would be the price of the Performance, which would be the 15,000 number here, and not the 17,474. So let's fix our estimate so that it reflects reality. Let's press close over here. Then we'll need to know the difference between the two packages. I did the math already, as you should have also. When you're in the home, you'll know the difference between those two packages because that's part of filling out the upgrade form. So let's edit our cost. So here under the line item marked discount administrative, we will edit with our edit pencil and then tap the unit price box here, and that'll create another box. And in that box, we will enter negative, and then the difference between the two packages was 2,446. Save those changes. Let's check our price. Should be 15,028. It is. Life is good. Now the next thing we need to do is select terms of payment, whether that's check, credit card, cash, finance. Let's just choose check. And if they're doing anything other than financing, there will be a down payment. So we'll need to edit that. So if we have a check, I'm going to make a note, check number 123 for a deposit of a third, which in this case we'll say is, we'll round it to $5,000. So check number 123 down payment. Down payment of $5,000. We'll save those changes. Okay. Then we'll also need to edit the measure date. So get on the phone with your project manager while you're at the table before you sign anything. Put them on speaker. So in my instance, hey, calling Sean Murphy. Sean, I'm here with Mr. and Mrs. Test Subject in Midland. We need to put them on the schedule for a measure date. This should be happening within a few days of closing the sale to do all the next steps as far as accurate measurements, precise measurements, confirming all of the different accessories and details of the project. And we're putting that next step in stone, in writing, on the calendar. There's that much less instances of cancellation at that point because this project is on the move. So I will write here, Sean will arrive for the measure, Friday, 6/13 between noon and 1 p.m. So we'll save that. Now that's on their sales agreement. So they should be writing it down somewhere in their house. But if not, if all else fails, at least we know that it's here for them. Everything that's on your estimate will populate the sales agreement except for this discount. Okay, it'll just have the total price and not all the discounts. So this looks good. We'll save that. What we'll need to do, edit the payment terms. Okay, so we'll press edit there. I'll go back. So edit payment terms. Remember, we do have a down payment. In this case, the amount of the down payment is $5,000. So you'll see here down payment $5,000, due at substantial completion will be that other $10,028. So now we're done. And we can save this up at the top. Anytime we change anything, we'll need to save it. Now let's say we show you some different options for payment terms. If they are financing, okay, let's select financing. And if you're using 360 finance, you already know the terms. I would put the name of the lender, I don't know, TCU, for instance. I don't know all the different lenders that 360 uses. TCU, 9%, 120 months, I don't know. And then a payment of, say, 200 a month. I don't know what it would be. I'm just kind of making up numbers there. But just have the lender, the approved rate that the customer selected, and then the payment you can put in the notes in the description. We'll save that. And now they can finance with zero down. So let's say they did. We're putting zero down. We're financing the full amount. So then the full amount, $15,028, will be financed. So I want to check the finance box here. Okay. And then done. If, of course, they do want to put money down and finance the rest, just make a note of it. Say they did want to put 5,000 down, so they'd have a lesser payment. There's our 5,000 down there with the rest being financed. And I'll make a note under terms of financing. Maybe they used a check to pay me, check number 123, $5,000 down payment. Okay. So one more thing I want to show you. If they are financing, this doesn't change. But if they're paying cash, cash, credit card, check, anything that's not financed, okay, anything that's not financed, they need a down payment, right? There needs to be some kind of good faith down payment. I know if you're in California, that might be $1,000 or up to 10% of the project and not the full third. But for this exercise, we're going to go with the third. Down payment, say $5,000 cash. So we'll edit the payment terms, but let's say they have custom glass or a two-stage deposit, something where we're not, it's a little different than normal. So if they have custom glass, let's select that. So if they have custom glass, we'll do the $5,000 deposit, but then due at substantial completion would be all but $1,000. We're going to hold off on that 1,000 because with custom glass, the final installation of the shower doors wouldn't happen until 4 to 6 weeks after the shower is installed. And the reason for that is anything other than a sliding door, we have to have extremely precise measurements to get the doors manufactured, then delivered, then installed. And we don't know what those precise measurements are until after the shower remodel is complete. So here, we're just going to hold off on that final $1,000 until the job is fully complete with the installation of that custom glass. Okay. So what that looks like here for all of us is let's take this number and just subtract 1,000 and enter that into due at substantial completion. So that looks like $9,028 due at substantial completion, and then that last $1,000 due once the glass is installed. So we'll press done. And now our payment terms here are correct. And then now we will save our estimate. And once we've done those things, and if there are any notes that we need to make sure of, let's say for whatever work we're doing, let's say we've removed a vanity, they wanted to downsize to a smaller vanity. It means there's going to be a little drywall work and some paint to be done. Customer is going to be responsible for that because we don't do drywall. Okay. So let's edit our notes. Maybe this is the last thing we need to do. Customer will be responsible for any drywall or paint necessary after vanity installed. Okay, so we'll save that change. It's on our contract. We want to over communicate as much as we possibly can. So let's save that. And now we'll come over here to the left and you will see sales agreement. Okay. So we can tap sales agreement and it'll generate a contract and go over all of this with the customer. Make sure it's correct before you sign anything. So you've got their contact information here. You've got yours here. Make sure that is all correct. And if it's not, just go back to your estimate, make your changes. You may need to adjust some things in the information panel to make sure that's reflected correctly, add a phone number, whatever. And then go through every item. There's no line item prices, so you don't have to worry about all that. Just make sure all of your accessories, all of your elements of the remodel are correct. Make sure they know when the project manager will be there. When the project manager is there, they'll go over everything and they will put the customer on the installation calendar so they will know. And then make sure they understand the payment schedule, how that works. Go over the notice of cancellation. Anytime someone signs an agreement in their home, they have 3 business days to cancel. Make sure they understand that. And this is not a crutch. It's not the kind of thing where you say, you know, you could always sign up because you could cancel later. Don't do that. In fact, I use it the other way. You know, you do have the right to cancel. I would rather we don't sign this if you have any reason to doubt that this is exactly what you want. Okay. And that only strengthens the customer's resolve to follow through. Go over the terms and conditions. Okay. You don't have to read it word for word, but you should be able to summarize each paragraph to let people know what exactly they're signing. And then go over the assurances again. These are on the contract. And our warranty part of the contract. Okay. And if that's all correct, cool. Let's go ahead and click the signature button. There is an option to email this to customers. If you get a call back, you could email it. I think it's better. It's a better practice to actually go back to the home and get them signed up. Not everybody is technically adept. A lot of our customers are older and aren't as technologically sound as others. So you do have the ability. I would recommend, if you can, get back to the house to sign. So let's press the signature button here. We want to sign it right here on your iPad. Click signature. Make sure the homeowner is there. And we only need one homeowner to sign. And it's got the option between on-screen and email. Again, we want to do this right here, right now, on screen. So you'll click on screen for your customer first, and then you, the sales rep, will sign in a minute. So on screen for the customer. And then it has these blue prompts starting with let's go. And if you can kind of show them how this works. So we press let's go, and then we've got next up here in the top right. We'll press that, and it'll want a signature in the box. You can use your finger. You can use, I have an Apple Pencil that I use. They can reset the signature and do it again if they're not happy with it, or adopt and sign. Now they're digitally signed here. So let's hit next up in the top right. And now it wants them to type their name in the box. I have a keypad with my iPad. You could use, the onboard, the on-screen keypad just as well. We'll press next, and then we'll accept today for today's date. Now it's dated, and we'll press next again in the top. And if you ever need to go back, there's a back button on the left. We will move forward, pressing on. You can reuse the same signature for the terms and conditions. Okay, and then next, and then accept today. You'll see we have a signature here and signature here. So we're done. So let's click done. And you can close this tab. Their signatures are done, and there's one thing left to do, and you guessed it, is for you to sign on screen. So let's do just that. There's only two things for you to do. There's one signature and one date. And then you are done. And close that tab. And now, once you've done that, you and the customer will receive an email that you can download that file, the PDF. So whatever these emails are here will receive an email with the signed document. A lot of people, like I said, are not technologically gifted. We'll just say that. So you can remind them that when the project manager shows up to do the measure, they will also bring with them a signed copy, a printed copy of the signed documents. So you'll have those. And then if you go, now that you have a signed document, you go down here to signatures on the left, click that, and now you can download, you can create a PDF here. You can see any signed documents you have. Click that. You can save it to files, do whatever you need to do with it, send it to the office, and go from there. So that is how you create and sign a sales agreement. Thanks a lot, and I'm looking forward to hearing how many you're getting signed in your first few weeks. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you later.